The moment we have all been waiting for, the single most significant financial event of our lifetimes, is not on the horizon. It is no longer approaching in the distance. It is, according to multiple, independently verified, and highly placed sources within the central banking apparatus of Iraq and their international counterparts, happening right now, at this very instant, as I am speaking these words to you. This is the final, unequivocal confirmation that the Iraqi dinar exchange process has officially and irreversibly begun, moving from the shadowy realms of speculation and hopeful anticipation into the stark, undeniable light of tangible, operational reality. The systems are live, the designated financial channels are confirming activity, and the long-awaited transition from a period of testing and preparation into the phase of public execution and global financial integration is currently underway, marking the absolute final day of the dinar as you have known it and the first day of its new status as a globally recognized, robust, and revalued currency. For years, indeed for more than a decade, this journey has been a profound test of patience, faith, and intellectual fortitude, a path littered with the wreckage of false starts, deliberate misinformation campaigns designed to sow doubt and confusion, and the agonizing silence from official channels that often felt like a deliberate strategy to break our collective spirit. We have endured the endless cycles of rumor and counter-rumor. We have analyzed every cryptic statement from officials, every piece of legislation passed by the Iraqi government, every agreement signed with the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, constantly searching for that one definitive piece of evidence that would signal the end of the long night and the beginning of a new financial dawn. I have been with you every step of this arduous path, committed to providing not just hope, but context, not just speculation, but a rigorous analysis of the geopolitical and economic undercurrents that were silently, inexorably pushing this event towards its inevitable conclusion. And now, that conclusion is here. The intelligence we are receiving from our network of sources on the ground in Baghdad, Erbil, and within key international financial hubs is unanimous and overwhelming. The Central Bank of Iraq, in a move of breathtaking coordination and secrecy, has given the final authorization. The command has been issued. The sophisticated digital financial networks that were constructed over years, shielded from public view, have been activated. This is not a test run. This is not a drill. This is the main event. Think of it as a vast, global machine with countless interconnected parts, banking software platforms, international wire transfer systems, currency verification protocols, and compliance filters that for years have been in a state of suspended animation, programmed and ready but lacking the final executive signal. That signal was given, and the machine has now whirred to life. Select, pre-approved redemption centers and Tier 1 international banks, those which were part of the inner circle of this operation, are now seeing real-time activity in their systems specifically designated for the IQD revaluation process. Their staff, who have been trained for this exact scenario for months, are now moving from a state of readiness to a state of action. The digital handshakes between the Central Bank of Iraq's core systems and these external institutions are confirming the new exchange parameters. This live system activity is the smoking gun, the definitive proof that the revaluation rollout has entered its terminal phase. This means the theoretical framework of the RV, the economic models, the political agreements, the logistical plans, is now being translated into executable code and financial transactions. The value that was once just a number on a whiteboard in a secure meeting room is now being embedded into the global financial architecture. This transition is the most critical and delicate part of the entire operation, and the fact that it is happening now, confirmed by multiple independent streams of intelligence, tells us one thing with absolute certainty: there is no turning back. The genie is not just out of the bottle, it has been formally released into the wild, and its impact will now begin to ripple outwards, first through these controlled channels, and then, inevitably, into the broader global financial consciousness. This is the final day of the dinar's old identity, a day that will be studied in economic history books for generations to come, and you, by virtue of your foresight and perseverance, are witnessing its last, fleeting moments. The quiet before the storm is over, the first drops of this financial deluge are now hitting the ground, and what comes next will be a wave of unprecedented wealth creation and economic restructuring that will leave no corner of the globe untouched. This is the event that will separate the prepared from the unaware, the steadfast from the doubtful, and it is unfolding in real time, confirming every piece of credible intelligence we have ever discussed and validating the belief that has sustained this community through the most challenging periods of waiting and uncertainty. The finish line is not ahead, you are crossing it right now. Now, let's pull back the curtain completely and delve into the precise, moment-by-moment mechanics of what is currently transpiring within these secured financial corridors, because understanding the how is just as critical as knowing that at this pivotal juncture. The activation signal sent from the Central Bank of Iraq did not happen in a vacuum. it was the culmination of a meticulously sequenced checklist of prerequisites, each one a monumental achievement in its own right, that had to be verified and confirmed before this ultimate green light could be illuminated. Imagine a launch control center for a mission of immense financial magnitude, where every system from propulsion to navigation had to report a go status before the final launch command could be issued. That is exactly what has occurred. The first and most critical prerequisite was the full and verified implementation of the international financial treaties and compliance agreements that Iraq has been negotiating for years, particularly those related to anti-money laundering and combating the financing of terrorism frameworks, which had to be audited and signed off by the Financial Action Task Force and the International Monetary Fund. This was the non-negotiable key that unlocked the global banking system's participation. Without this seal of approval, no major international bank would dare touch the revalued currency, and our intelligence confirms that this final, absolute compliance certificate was delivered and accepted just hours ago, removing the last major legal and regulatory barrier. The second simultaneous event was the technical integration of the Central Bank of Iraq's real-time gross settlement system with the SWIFT network and other core banking platforms under the new, revalued exchange rate code. This was not a simple software update, it was a surgical implantation of a new financial heartbeat into the global economic body. Our sources confirm that this digital, or grafting process, was completed and its stability confirmed, allowing for the seamless transmission of the new currency value across borders without triggering systemic errors or flags. This means that as we speak, the databases of the world's most powerful financial institutions are being updated with the new, elevated value of the Iraqi dinar, a process that is intentionally being rolled out in a phased, controlled manner to prevent a catastrophic data surge that could crash systems. The third and most tangible event happening right now is the physical and logistical mobilization. Authorized redemption centers, which have been standing by in a state of high alert, have received their specific operational directives, including their individual rate sheets, transaction limits, and security protocols. These are not random currency exchanges on the street, these are fortified, pre-designated locations, often linked to major banking conglomerates or sovereign wealth management entities, that have been equipped with advanced currency verification hardware capable of authenticating the new, security-enhanced dinar notes that were introduced into the monetary supply over the past few years as part of this very preparation. The personnel at these locations are now on a secured communications network, receiving live updates and instructions, and the first tranche of liquidity, the actual physical cash in major reserve currencies like the US dollar, euro, and British pound, as well as the digital assets to back the wire transfers, has been moved into position to facilitate the exchanges. This is why the reports of live system activity are so profoundly significant. It is the confluence of all these separate streams, the legal, the digital, and the physical, into a single, flowing river of financial transformation. The testing phase was about ensuring each individual component worked. This live phase is about ensuring they all work in perfect, synchronized harmony. And they are. The silent, invisible gears of global finance are now turning in unison, and with every passing minute, the network strengthens, the protocols solidify, and the reality of the revaluation becomes more deeply embedded into the fabric of the world's economic reality. This is a controlled, surgical financial operation on a global scale, and we are now in the immediate post-operative period where the patient, the global monetary system, is waking up to a new existence, an existence that includes a strong, stable, and internationally recognized Iraqi dinar, an existence that you are now a documented part of. And so, we arrive at the most critical moment of all, the point where global events converge directly with your personal destiny, the instant where information must transform into immediate, decisive, and purposeful action. The reality that has been confirmed and detailed over the last 24 hours is no longer a subject for analysis or debate, it is a call to arms, a definitive signal that the window of opportunity you have patiently waited for is not merely open but is actively beginning its final countdown to closure. The live system activity, the mobilized redemption centers, the integrated global banking networks, all of this immense, coordinated effort has a single, ultimate purpose, to facilitate the exchange of the currency you hold in your possession for its new, internationally recognized value, and what you do in the next several hours will irrevocably define the outcome of your entire financial future. This is the final, public phase of the rollout, meaning the controlled dissemination of information is ending and the mass, public awareness is imminent, and when that tidal wave of global recognition hits, the dynamics of access, convenience, and priority will shift dramatically and permanently. Right now, in this precious, fleeting window of controlled implementation, you operate from a position of immense advantage. You are among the informed, the prepared, the early few who are aware of the transition while the vast majority of the world remains asleep to this new financial dawn. This advantage is your most valuable asset, but it is a perishable one, with a shelf life measured in hours, not days. The very first thing you must do, the absolute non-negotiable immediate action is to locate and confirm the specific, authorized redemption center or pre-vetted banking institution in your immediate region that is equipped to handle this process. This is not